Hello everyone, today we're going to be playing a game called The Political Process, a game I have exactly 100 hours of playtime in. Um, this is a game that I have played a lot. It is my most played Steam game of all Steam games, and I really like it. So we're just going to play through maybe the first year, and I'll do maybe one video for every year that until I'm decide to retire, because I don't believe your character can die in this game. I've never tried, but I made it to easily well over 115 in one life, so I highly doubt your character can actually die. New game. I'm just gonna make a guy. I'm gonna try to make him look like me. I'm gonna call him. Let's see what his name. Richard Quick. That's a good name. Let's make him European. I don't know. And now let's try to. Alright, he looks somewhat normal. I'm gonna just change him slightly. Where is it? You could theoretically go like. You could do that if you wanted, but I don't. I like to keep my characters looking generally human. I'll go for that. And hairstyle. Oh, I quite like that. I like that hairstyle. I'm gonna stick with that. And I'm gonna give him sort of close to my real life hair color. I'm gonna turn on hair aging. I think this is Richard Quick. I'm happy with that. Now I just usually give them the default liberal presets. Um, I think just the game. Let's see, very liberal Democrat. Yeah. Um, the game I believe. Now any opinions I have here do not necessarily represent my actual opinions, but my actual political opinions are irrelevant. Um, what I have written down here is just the defaults. So if I wanted, I could make myself conservative, moderate, or libertarian. But I usually just go for the default liberal because I believe that that is how the game's kind of meant to be played, in a way. I usually don't add any history. I usually don't add any traits. Maybe I'll randomize the traits. Egocentric and social. Alright. One good, one bad. That's not too bad. And I usually don't do anything here. So we're just going to play through the first year. Oh, pick a state. Let's go for a let's go for Pennsylvania because it's 42 42 16, so it's even. And that's the most fair. And then we need to find like a good county. I usually try to. Oh wait, there was a real. What was it? What was that? What county was that? It was a real even one. Oh. Erie County. That's pretty good. That's pretty close. That's 43 41. Let's see if we can get. We'll shelf Erie County. Northampton County is perfect. That's the perfect county. I play on default. I start in 2023. Um, we'll call the city Northampton. I don't know if that's this actual city, but we'll go for that. We'll play normal mode. We'll play with all just the default settings. You can mess around with the settings and stuff, but yeah. Welcome to the game. Your first task in your political career will be to appoint a chief of staff. Doug Harmon, Hugh Vogel, or Marianne Hitchcock. Well, Hugh Vogel is the oldest. He probably has the most experience, and he looks the most serious. It doesn't really matter. You can pick whoever you want. Hi, I'm your Chief of Staff, Hugh Vogel. I will be helping you navigate your political career. I want to start off by saying that your political goals are up to you. There are no victory conditions in this game. You can do whatever you want. You can run for political office at the city, state, or federal level. From the mayor of a small town to the president of the entire country. As an elected official, you can adjust tax rates or reduce government expenditure. You can write legislation that affects millions of people. You can ascend the political hierarchy, gain influence, becoming the party leader, and shape your party's political agenda. You could take charge of your party's campaign committee, influence your party's platform, recruit political candidates, and help party members win elections. You could do all of this and much more. The choice is yours. With so many options, you may feel a little overwhelmed about where to start. My recommendation is that you start at civil level as either a school board member or city council member, or chairperson of your political party's campaign committee. All of them are good introductions to the world of politics. The school board and city council positions will allow you to run for election, write legislation, and influence the budget. If you play as the chairperson of your party's campaign committee, you will be in charge of recruiting party candidates, selecting the party's platform, and using party resources to influence local elections. This option is good if you're interested in election campaigns, but not interested in writing legislation. Whichever path you choose, I am confident that you will be a great politician. Also, I highly encourage you to look at the concepts page, which provides detailed information about all the major aspects of the game. You can view the concepts page by clicking on the concepts button below my portrait in the office summary tab. You may also want to familiarize yourself with all the tabs of menus in the games before applying for your first job. I think that's all I need to cover for right now. It's been a pleasure to meet you. Good luck and welcome to the political process. Who's texting me? Oh no! Hold on, let me pause. Sorry about that, everyone. What was I saying? Ah, yes. Good luck and welcome to the political process. And now I'm very familiar with the game. I've played it for 100 hours, but I'll put you guys through a basic tutorial. So here's Hugh Vogel, my guy, concepts. There's all of this garbage, which I won't read out all of it for you. You can, if you get the game, you can feel free to read it. I'll probably explain stuff as we get to it anyway. And then, so this is the legislation tab. If I'm in a political position, I can hit new legislation and write something up. Contacts, so I could message all of these people, but I don't have a job at the moment. These are the districts I'm in. So the school board district, the city council district, my city, my state house district, my state senate district, and my congressional district, and the entire state of Pennsylvania, and the entire country. And it's got all these interesting stats. So here's an interesting thing. So if I want to run for state house, I might find it quite difficult because I'm a Democrat. We only have 30%. So I need to win over several Republicans, so I probably need to play a more moderate campaign if I were to run there. So I might have to avoid running there. This is the current state house representative for that city, Colby McDonald. As you can see, he is a 3-term state representative, and he is a Republican. Whereas if we look at something like the state senate, we have Eddie Dye, 3 terms as well, Democrat. So, and then in the city, our current mayor is a Republican. It may later become a Democrat, so on. You know, it's very realistic. Jobs, this is where I apply for different jobs. So I could apply to be a school board, city council, mayor, all sorts of what now and hoo-ha. Events, I can set it to so that it automatically assigns judges. Otherwise, I have to, if I'm in a correct position, have to assign them all myself. Proteges, when you have a job, they can come in. Yeah. This is where I campaign. I can endorse people. So on I can endorse people on week 6. I can start endorsing. There's various politicians. So here's the mayor again. Here is the governor of Pennsylvania, Esther Parada, and here's the president of the United States, Ann Gomez. And I notice they have the same hair and they look pretty similar actually. And here's the vice president, Gabriel T. Cerna. There's also the entire House. So we're currently, and the Senate's currently split 50-50. These are all the default settings. It always starts with a Republican-controlled House, a tied Senate, and a Democratic president. It always starts like that, unless you choose for it not to. We can see the 2020 election results. Ann Gomez won in a absolute landslide of 390 to 148, like that. So let's see if she can win a second term. We can't see anything earlier than what was default. Here's some sorts of metrics. Those will be important later on. This is me, Richard Quick, 18, Northampton County, Pennsylvania. I'm a Democrat, not in a caucus. My approval rating is 51%. And then here's the news. And if some important stuff happens, they can happen there. Let's just apply to be a school board member. and pick someone as a campaign manager. I like the look of Wayne Ames here. Let's pick him. Welcome to your election campaign. The primary election will occur in 18 weeks. There is much to do before that time. The most important goal for any candidate is to increase name recognition. People vote for the candidate they know. Increase your name recognition by engaging with the voters. Knock on doors to introduce yourself to your constituents. Recruit volunteers to make phone calls. Deploy marketing campaigns to reach a large audience. And contact local organizations to learn the interests of your community. A second important element of the campaign is to communicate a message that resonates with the voters. You can learn voter priorities and concerns by knocking on doors or by conducting polls. I also highly recommend that you read the election section in the concepts menu. You can view the concepts by clicking on the concepts button below my portrait on the campaign overview page. Good luck, your campaign manager, Wayne Ames. And here's where I can do that. So I can get advice. So some voters believe I'm too young. Only Democrats can vote in this primary. My opponent has a negative trait. Some voters dislike my negative trait of egocentrism, I believe it was. And my opponent does have a positive trait. I can do all of this stuff if I want to. Here's my schedule. I can knock on doors, and that gives me name recognition and some changes in enthusiasm. I can do marketing, so I could put it. Well, I don't have any money at the moment, but if I had money, I could do some marketing. And elections, I believe he said, yeah. And then there's difficulty. I can change the difficulty, which I won't do, and then I can withdraw, which I'm not going to do. So my opponent is Bryant Milton. Here he is, 55, liberal. He's deceitful, absent-minded. Those are good. I can use those against him. But let's just start some events. Let's automate events. Let's automate fundraising, door knocking, and rallies. That will give me name recognition, and it will give me money. What I need to do next is automate my marketing. I like to automate it because then I don't have to keep doing it every round, and I can focus on other stuff. And I like to go for all funds because eventually it balances itself out. And then you can just go television, general, education, and you can do all this stuff. I usually just go for general, but I usually play on an easier difficulty, so this might be a bit of a challenge for me. Let's wait, let's hold off on the marketing for a little bit. Let's see what people want to say. Let's see what people have to say. Let's go knock on some doors. Teachers are undervalued and underpaid. Current science funding is good enough. So this person says teachers are undervalued and underpaid. That's what some people think. So I could go into marketing, automate marketing, do that, television, general, education, teacher salaries. I could start a campaign about teacher salaries, and then that would be me saying I support teacher salaries being increased. I'm not an expert at this game, in case that isn't clear. So what I usually do is just go general for everything. I just go general, then I go radio, general, education, general, and then I put an internet one. You can only do a general ad for that, and then I put a direct mail, general, education, general. As you get further on, there are more things you can talk about and more things that you need to worry about. I'm also going to put a television ad. To attack his traits, I need to go other and attack traits and then select him. And I can put deceitful or absent-minded. I'm going to say deceitful is probably worse, so I'm going to do that. And we're just going to do that for now, and we're going to see what happens. So as you can see, $10 was spent on marketing campaigns. And my name recognition is now at 22%. That's going to keep going up. 53%, as you can see. Your remaining hours from the previous turn were used to fundraise for 20 hours, raising $1,140 for my election campaign. I could knock on doors for 40 hours, and then that would get me some money, and then I could do that. And then I'd lose a bit of money, and I wouldn't be able to do as much campaigning. And you just sort of do that. Let's see if there's any news. There is, but it's nothing I particularly care about. However, Governor Laura Crabtree of Mississippi has reached the term limit and will not run for re-election. So let's see who takes over that position. I usually just do this, and it's a bit of a boring gameplay loop. And I like to check the news whenever I can. We don't have enough to do a poll. Strategize with campaign manager. It's lunchtime, so you and your campaign manager head to a local diner. A bell jingles as you open the diner door and walk in. You wave to several people you recognize seated at the counter. A waitress greets you and walks you to a booth where you give her your order. Natural light pours in through the large diner windows. People chatter pleasantly while eating their meals. I've been thinking about our opponent, Bryant Milton. He has some negative traits that we can target in attack ads. It could give us an advantage. Independent voters may start to lead towards us. Opposition voters may lose enthusiasm and be less likely to vote on election day. Luckily, I've already done that. But I like your idea. Let's not only do it in the television, let's go radio, and let's attack his absent-mindedness on the radio. And in direct mail, we'll attack his policies on education. And we'll see what happens there. And as you can see, well, I don't want to stop funding to start doing a poll, and this is not that big of an election, so if we go to the elections tab, there's all sorts of polls being done by the polling stations, but it's not for anything less than the Senate and governor and president. So I would have to run my own poll if I wanted to know how I was actually polling. But as you can see, I feel like I have a pretty good shot at winning. Because 62% of people support my policies. And I have a ever so slight advantage. Less than 1%, but less than 1% is an advantage on what people think of my opinions. Both Democrats and Republicans for teacher salary. I haven't really said anything about teacher salary, but I guess they agree with me. And, it's time to see who wins. Now, it's going to take 5 minutes, which is freaking ages, so I like to speed it up. 2 minutes? Do we want to wait that long? No. Let's go very fast. There we go. And we can see. So he's winning at the moment, but can we pull it back? We might not be able to. You know. No, I think he's going to win. That's a shame. He's definitely going to win. If we were going to pull back, we would have started pulling back by now. That is a severe shame. Congratulations, Bryant Milton. You've won the nomination, which means he wins the school board. So, because we lost, as you can see, we are not the Democratic nominee for School Board District 1. However, look what Wayne has to say. The primary campaign has ended. Unfortunately, we did not get enough votes for you to become your party's nominee. Everyone has lost an election before. It's part of politics, but you have gained some name recognition and a better understanding of your community's values. Do not get discouraged. It's time to start preparing for your next election. Although you lost your political party's primary, you can continue running in the election as an independent candidate. Do you want to run as an independent? If you select a yes, your political party will be automatically switched to independent, and you will be allowed to continue running in the election. Yes! So now, I'm an independent, caucusing with Democrats, and I'm allowed to keep competing. However, it's still going to be difficult to beat Bryant Milton. He's beat me once, he might be able to beat me again. So what we need to do, again, we're automating events, we just need to pump out more and more advertising. We need to attack his policies. We need to say that he's bad. Let's figure out actually precisely what his policies are. Let's go to his platform. Government handouts do not eliminate poverty, they perpetuate it. See, that's not a popular opinion within the Democratic Party. He's not as liberal as me, as my character. And that's about teachers are paid an appropriate salary. I could attack his opinion on teacher wages. So let's do that. Let's run an attack ad. Let's say attack education, teacher's salary. Ooh. Let's go on the radio, run an attack ad saying he doesn't support free community college because he doesn't. And that's bad. And as you can see, Republicans have just started to like me a little bit more for whatever reason. Let's keep going. Let's see what happens. Strategize with campaign manager. Well, let's skip to the... this year we can focus on promoting whatever policies we want. Winning is not going to be an issue, which means great opportunity to campaign on some of your less popular positions. It will not gain us any enthusiasm, but some voters will be swayed to change their policy opinions. Converting voters in this way has several benefits. First, it can make the next election cycle easier for us and our ideological successors. Second, it will create a future generations of politicians who share our ideology. That could make passing legislation easier. Now, my policies, when it comes to this, are simple. Now, so yeah, this is what I think. What is? Let's see what he thinks about teachers having guns. Let's see. Opponents. Platform. Teachers should not. Okay, so we agree on that. We agree on that topic. So I was hoping I'd be able to attack him on that, but we can't. But I can't. But look at my bars. They're slowly going up. If we go here, look, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents like me. On that. Democrats, Republicans, and Independents. Interestingly, teacher salary, Democrats don't like me, but Independents do, and Republicans are neutral. So I may lose a bit of Democratic voters, but he disagrees with me. So Democrats are going to vote for him, but Republicans and Independents aren't. Everyone likes me on Free Community College. What's my opinion on science funding? I don't know. Strategize with campaign manager. We aren't going to have a lot of resources for this election, so our strategy is going to be limited. The most important thing we can do is figure out what the voters care about, and then adjust our policies to reflect their views. That means to get out there and knock on some doors, figure out voter priorities. Yeah. But if we look at this, total effect, people like me on that, people like me on that. Teacher salary, people are neutral, but that's okay. People like me there, people like me there, people like me there, people neutral here, people like me there. People like me on most things. I don't know if the same could be said. Let's see, I guess, because the general election's happening. There's also some governor races, but those are always going to go to the Republicans. Mayor, it looks like Isabella Gunn is winning at the moment. Okay, city council, yeah, okay, school. And as you can see, we have taken the lead. Our marketing has pushed us into the lead. So even though we lost the primary, we may well, it's not over yet, it's not over till it's over, but we may well win the seat. This is why I always run as an independent, and then I immediately switch back to Democrat. But let's see, it's getting a bit closer. Ooh, it is getting rather close. Okay, it's getting a bit further away. I've taken more of a lead. I'm 10 points ahead. Okay. Now I'm 5 points ahead, or something. So, it'll fluctuate, and it's possible he could still win by this point, but maybe not. Let's speed it up even. Ooh, that's worrying. That's very worrying. I'm only a point ahead now. 2 points. But now I've pulled back a little bit more. So let's keep going. Let's speed it up. Let's see what happens. He's pulled ahead. Oh no. He has pulled ahead. He's pulled ahead significantly. He's 4 points ahead. Oh no. I may lose. Let's see. Can we pull it back? I don't think we're going to pull it back. I think he's won. I think he's won the seat. With 93% reporting? That's a shame. We gave it our best, but we lost, I think. Yep. Congratulations. We have lost. We've lost the election. That's a shame. But it's okay. The general election has ended. I'm proud of Europe. Unfortunately, we did not win this election. The important thing is to not get discouraged. I'm in a better political position than I was before. So, yes, we did lose. Yes. Oh, and that, Maurice Catesby won re-election. Interesting. We could run for president. I'm technically... in this game, you could run for any... I'm not 36, but I could theoretically run for president. I'm not going to. Or should I? Should I run for president and just see what happens? Screw it. Let's do it. Let's run. Let's run for president. Let's set my priority. We'll go for an economic. As you can see, these are all of the issues that presidents will do. Let's just go economic. I'm an economic. I don't really want to win. I'm just doing it for fun. You know, maybe let's see how well I do. And look, this is immediately gonna participate in the Democratic presidential primary. And I'm gonna. So, what message do you want to communicate about your healthcare policy? Each option will have a different effect on how the audience responds. Explain that you agree with the healthcare policies of your party and intend to support such policies if you are elected. Explain how your healthcare plan is the best for the country. Recognize that there are many competing ideas regarding healthcare, but it's your intention to find common values and provide healthcare policies that everyone can support. Attack the healthcare plans of the other candidates. Make your policies appear to be good by making others appear worse. Use the debate as an opportunity to attack the healthcare plan of the opposition party. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do that one. And as you can see, it made Democrats like me quite a bit and gave me 23 million name recognition. It's maybe a bit of a cheat. Maybe I should have worked my name recognition up organically, but And now let's just put an internet ad because I don't actually want to win. Let's just put it everywhere. Let's not use all funds. Let's specify amount. Let's just do $1,000 because you get a lot of free money out of this. I wouldn't recommend doing this because it's kind of cheating, but you do get a lot of free money out of this. And then this is what all the boring Republicans have to say. I don't give a damn. You could pause to read it. And now here we go. Express your commitment to address poverty based on the principles and values of your party. That one. As you can see, it makes Democrats love me, gives me another 10 million name recognition. Now, I'm gonna end this video after 1 year. I want to do 1 year per video. Or 1 video per year. So, as soon as we tick over to the next year, I'm gonna say that is it. And there we go. I also think that I'm running against the incumbent, yeah, Ann Gomez. So there's not a chance I'm gonna win the, well, I say that, it has happened before. But if we're looking at this, yeah, let's look at the polling. Let's see how it's polling. National, president, or Democrat. Yeah, so she's way above me, obviously, because I'm a joke. I'm polling higher than I thought I would be. But yeah, so we're just going to end this video here. If you want to see this series continue, let me know. I'm probably going to continue it anyway, though. Maybe just once a week.